we have overlooked the fact that black women have been for the white nation. They have sucked us dry. That we have nursed the children, we have fed them, we have done everything, put all our energies, all our work into working for the white family. And now it's time for us to take all our strength, all the strength that Monahan says we have. We're supposed to be the strongest women anyway. It's time for us to take all our strength, all our milk, all of that, and put it into working for the black nation.
His woman, adequately couldn't have the luxuries of another woman born the same just like her. This man has to, black men have stood by for a very, very long time and been humiliated by the system. He can't get the job that this fella can get. And you must understand that his wife might have to go on welfare. He has to stay in humility of that. He has to watch the plumber duck if the welfare worker come in there. Mm-hmm. You understand me? He has always been made to feel he's below the next man. So you must take into consideration, now black men are learning, that they're part. They're beginning to feel like a man. They're getting their dignity and their pride back.
Be the better woman for understanding that at this point they need you to walk a few feet behind and get their manhood together. So if it takes that, then I'm going to do whatever the brothers need now. I mean, I've been doing a lot of research on slavery and talk about wiping out and ripping off a people. They did it to the black man. They did it.
Whether I walk alongside, in back of, or in front of, that is going to have to be defined for me by my man. We know too well what our being is all about in the United States of Europe. We have to deal with that. That's why I started out by saying, are we talking about changes within existing systems? Because that's all we're talking about. We're talking about a black nation within a European nation.
By the black nation.
I mean, black people's lives, being self-determining, defining yourself, naming yourself, and having political power. We're a nation already without political power and military power. We're a cultural nation without political and military power. We're a nation, in captivity by another people, a people who have a totally different culture than we have, who cannot even relate to the things that we relate to.
I feel like a lot of men want things that they are not able to give. Men want a safe space, but they don't provide a safe space.
Amen. Amen. Then you got to provide that space.
Exactly. They don't provide a safe space for women. And women are very emotional creatures. Not saying that men aren't.
Men are more emotional, in my opinion.
Yeah, they are. But I feel like women, not all women, but me personally, I'm a Pisces. I am... Me, not just in the beginning, but through the relationship, the sex is always going to be good for me. I'm gonna always, if you want some head, I'm gonna give you head. It's not gonna be an issue.
I don't care if you don't want head, you get in it.
Right.
I want to be back. Sex is therapeutic. I'm not gonna lie.
Unless they're broke.
I was going to say.
When men are broke, they don't want to fuck. That's the only time.
When I'm broke, I don't want to.
Right. That's the only time.
I got to figure out how to make this money. I feel like broke men should definitely have more sex because it's very motivating.
Broke people should have sex.
Broke people don't deserve sex, period.
Broke
people don't even... broke men don't even...
Where are you going to have the sex, baby?
Nothing.
You don't have a place to lay your head.
No, that's like...
Or should women be grateful for that?
Okay, I'm grateful that I woke up this morning, and I'm grateful for unexpected miracles and blessings, right?
Yes.
But
amen.
$30 to so he knows I'm going to lunch.
He knows
He knows my vibe. He knows how I like to move, and he only sent $30. Yeah. I just feel like maybe he doesn't know a woman of your caliber or a woman of your how you like to move. So
provided an extra little $30 for you to, that's cool. But I'm not gonna bend over backward for a man that is just sending whatever he can, or if if he's not gonna be my boyfriend, number one, but if I'm talking to him next time I'm out, and he says, "Oh, you need something for lunch?" I'm gonna tell him it's okay. Somebody already sent me $100, so he know that
You going for
the
the
next
juggler.
time, you got to, because it's better, like you said, instead of throwing a fit and oh my god, and going on the internet, this nigga did this, that, and the third. It's better to just show him what real men are doing.
Yeah.
Right. And let me just piggyback off of that.
Okay, I want to say because I need to be on my notepad. Go ahead. Let
Me
table
in that
spice.
situation,
Okay, go ahead.
if we're being completely honest, right here, right now, we've all eaten lunch for $30.
Yes.
Let's start there.
100%.
Wait,
Cute little cafe spot, baby.
I'm
You
getting
get
lunch
lunch
for
for
17. I need to
17.
snap us and get something popping, but
you know. So we're not saying that we're ungrateful.
Right.
Food is food on the table. However, you know what the standard is.
Correct.
Me in that situation, handling it with grace. Thank you so much, baby. I'm so appreciative. I'm gonna still take a picture of that bill and I'm gonna send it to him. Thank you for the 30. That was the tip. Here's the bill. What's up?
and then you paid it by yourself. All you handled was the tip.
Hey, what's good with y'all, man? It's the Walker Bar for Black Authentic Truth, man, with episode 36. And I got a lineup of stories, some things that I think is very important. We're going to get into it. And I know y'all just seen that video that I just played, just showing you how things have changed, how the conversation has changed, which is crazy, right? You looked at that video, those two videos, and you seen Black women together talking about certain things back in the day. And then today, the conversation, it has become trashed. The conversation has become materialistic. The conversation has become superficial. Whereas the sisters before, back in the day, they were talking about the issues that pertained to their community. They were talking about the history of their people, how their man has been treated by this society, and understanding that they live in a society within a European society. Like what happened, y'all? What went wrong? It's crazy to see that dynamic, right? And I'm sitting here and I was thinking, I was like, man, this is, I think people need to see a visual of how things have changed, because it's documented when brothers and sisters got on platforms, when, you had camera and cable access channels and all of that. Brothers and sisters got on platforms and talked about real issues. Now today, everybody has a podcast, everybody has an opinion, but is it a worthy opinion to the problems that our people deal with? And for the people that think that I'm just going in on the women, I'm going to do one with brothers too. Also, I'm going to do one with brothers just to show you how what we was on back in the day to what the topic of discussion is today, which is the bar is really low right now. The bar is terribly low. So I got a few videos I'm gonna go into. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with me. And let me see where I want to go. I got about 4 or 5 videos I want to go over and talk about. So we'll do this one. We'll do this one with the mother. You know what I forgot to say? How is everybody's Sunday? How are you enjoying this Sunday? Right now, it's another heat wave in Southern California. Still a nice day, but it's a heat wave. So I don't know, man. It's been a hot one, and I believe summer is over, right? It's about to be over, or it's over, but it's been hot. It's been hot. Shout out to Bulls fan 25, always rocking with me. Let me see what you say. He said, just here to boost Good looking out. These chicks, the reason why I really don't get down with other females as friends. I'm a chick way past 30 and can count on one hand how many females I've been friends with. Wow. Wow, that's a thank you for that your input. Yeah, I mean the mindset today is really crazy. And y'all know what Black Authentic Truth, like, it's really not about, with me, it's really not about the gender war thing that goes on that we see all the time. We see it all the time. It's not about that. It's about us. It's about us as a group of people. The problem is if you start to talk about women, then it's like if you bring out truths about women, how can I say, the modern woman, right? It's like you hate women, you sassy, you all kind of things. And they always talk about a Black man being a leader. Well, the first thing a Black man as a leader, what he would do or what he should do is get things in order and point out the things that are messed up in his community. Point out the things that are messed up with himself, with his people, with his brothers. Point out the things that are messed up with his sisters. But I guess no one wants a Black man to be a leader, because the minute you point those things out, now you're misogynistic, you hate women, all of these different things, but you're not a leader. If you want a leader, if you want somebody to be a leader and lead you, you're going to have to change some things. You're going to have to take some constructive criticism. You're going to have to listen. That goes for men too. If somebody is trying to help you fix your life, then you're going to have to shut your mouth and listen and look in the mirror and say, well, is what this man is telling me, is it right? Is it the truth? Do I need to hear it? I probably don't want to hear it, but do I need to hear it? And if men and women can do that, then we'll be okay. Brothers and sisters, we'll be okay as a group of people if we could all do that. But specifically with that video, you seen how our sisters, what type of time our sisters was on back in the day. They wasn't talking about how much money a man gives them for lunch. They wasn't talking about sex in public and what they do in public. They wasn't dressing like how the women dress today. They were very, very conscious, very aware of what was going on in their community. And they wasn't buying your man don't love you, your man abandoned your children. They wasn't buying that garbage at that time. Then all the destruction rolled in, all of the extra stuff rolled in. And now fast forward, you see that other podcast of what the conversation is. And it is superficial. It is materialistic. It is a vain. It is vanity. It is a conversation that is not even helping our community or our people get better, at all. So this story I'm gonna bring up is about a mother stealing from her daughter, taking her inheritance. Maybe some of y'all have seen it. Let me pull it up real quick. What do I want?
But that was not, I don't even have my birth certificate. So you took my.
I'm gonna start it over.
Why would you do that?
What you mean, why would I do that? Did your daddy pass away?
But that was not, I don't even have my birth certificate. So you took my birth certificate?
Did he ever pay child support? And what you mean birth certificate? Didn't I have
What does that got to do with me? He left me money, not you.
Okay, but
he
never took care of you, so that was his payback for me. That was my payback, that he's never gave me child support to take care of you or your
That
brothers.
has nothing to do with me.
What you mean it doesn't?
I don't know why you think you can just take my money. It's not your money. It's not yours at all.
It is my money. I had you.
It's in my name.
Okay,
That's stealing.
I gave you your name.
That's stealing. You took my birth certificate and claimed insurance money, my inheritance. That's stealing.
I had you with your father that passed away, that didn't give me a single dime, not one dime to help take care of you guys.
So you're admitting to stealing, so you think that's okay to steal?
I'm not stealing.
Why would you?
Now, This is a crazy story. And on the actual video, a lot of women was agreeing with the mother, saying, well, if the father didn't take care, it didn't pay child support, then the mother deserves that money. I disagree with that. And of course her daughter disagrees. She said, why would you use my birth certificate to get the insurance money to basically take my inheritance, something that my dad left for me? And the mother is saying, well, I raised you. I gave you your name, which, it really don't make no sense. But she, on this video, she incriminated herself. So I'm not the legal expert, but I'm pretty sure her daughter has a good chance of being able to get the money, being that her mom basically did fraud by just using her birth certificate to get this money. But her mother feels entitled because she didn't get anything throughout the years from the father. Now, we don't know the situation. We don't know if the father was just dealing with the daughter or if the father was out of the picture. But what we do know is that he left an inheritance for his daughter. He did leave something. That's a more than a lot of us could say. That's more than a lot of Black people could hope for, is a parent being able to leave something behind specifically for a child to get to benefit from. It's inheritance. It's something that is as old as the earth, as the beginning of time. But what I seen with this, and like I said, I don't agree with the fact what her mom is saying, that it's my payback from him. Now, let's just say that her father had passed away 2 years after she was born. Then what? Then who owes her? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of a cold stance to take. And it's cold because it's her daughter. Now, and her daughter is like taken from her daughter. Like her daughter said, she's stealing from me. Now, what I saw on that, what I thought about is that now she was able to successfully raise her children, her daughter, or I don't know if they got more siblings, but this is the point. What it shows you is this: no woman is on the streets because child support payments ain't coming in. You get what I'm saying? No woman, you never see a woman with her children on the streets simply because the father ain't in the picture and he's not paying child support. The way this society is structured is that it take care, like as a woman, there are resources, even at your lowest point, there are homes, there are shelters, there are resources that will take a woman in, that will work with a woman, that will provide for a woman. So I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that obviously she was able to successfully raise the girl, right? So whatever the case was, she was able to, and so many of our sisters have done this without a father, and no matter what reason the father is not in the picture, it has been done millions of times. Okay, but to turn around and then say, well, I'm old, and take the money that was left for her daughter, that's cold. That's cold. You know what I mean? That's another level of scandalous right there. You know what I mean? And she's sitting there, she's laying on the bed like, yeah, I did it. And what? I gave you your name. I did this for you. Like, she doesn't even care. She doesn't even feel anything. She feels like I'm entitled to this money, not you, because I took care of you. And I don't know. What is y'all thoughts on that? What do y'all think about that? Because there was a lot of women that agreed with the mom. Now, put it on the other foot. Switch it around. Like with a man, how would you look at that situation? Or you put yourself in that situation, how would you feel? Would you still agree? Like, okay, my father we didn't have the best relationship. He wasn't around. He wasn't in the house, but I dealt with my father. And when he passed away, he left me some money, but my mom took all the money and said, because she never got child support from him, she's owed that money. How would you feel? And then maybe you could give a better response to that story. That's right. I feel also that it is shameful and disgraceful, especially when you think about how hard it is for Black people in general, and how much of a boost that would be for you as a young adult, a young teenager, to start off with a little something to where you could at least start off with, you get you a vehicle, help you go to school, just give you a nice little foundation, and your mother just takes it and says, it's mine. But like I said, I'm not the legal expert. I think she has a case. She definitely can get that money back, and her mom probably could get locked up for it because she basically forged. She forged her daughter's name and used the birth certificate to get the money in the first place. So she got it by dishonest means anyway, which I'm pretty sure was against the law. Let me see what Sister Brathana said. She said, you should have not, she should not have taken her money. And I'm sure she would have given her son with no problem if oh yeah, definitely. She would have broke her mom off. Bulls fan 25. My daughter could buy a brand new Honda with what her father owes in support, but she is grown now, so neither one of us cares. See, that's another thing too. And like what you just said also is what I was trying to articulate also, is that like it's over. You was able to raise her successfully. She's not on drugs. She's got her mind together. What does it matter now? That's the past, What does it really matter now at this point in time? Now, yes, it would be good to get some money you didn't know you didn't have. But at this point, what does it matter? And if it really doesn't matter, then why not just let your daughter get the money and then ask her for some money? Like, I'm sure she would have given her mother something, So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna drop this story. Let me see. Yeah, so everybody knows the story of Javion McGee, the brother that was found supposedly at the base of a tree with a rope, or he not supposedly, but he was, but allegedly they were trying to say that he had took his own life by lynching himself. He was at the base of a tree. I seen the tree. The tree doesn't even look like a tree that a person could hang from. Now there's a brother. His page is called Taylor House Publishing, and I'm gonna play a video because this brother has been doing a lot of groundwork. He's been like going out to the site. He's been talking to people that live in the city in Henderson. He's been black and white that say that even though it's not considered a sundown town, the white hoods are there, the triple Ks are there, and there's a triple K bar not too far from where this thing happened with the brother Javion McGee. But he's been like exposing a different side of the story that you cannot get from watching the media. You just cannot get it because he's like literally doing groundwork. There's a picture where it appears to be three men the night before Javion McGee was found. Three men with Javion McGee's body slumped against a truck. Okay, so there's a lot of foul play. I believe yesterday they had the funeral services for Javion McGee in Chicago, but there still is no official, he took his own life, but they're saying there's no foul play. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this video from Taylor House Publishing. I'm gonna try to get in contact with this brother so maybe we could discuss this on live. But shout out to the brother for the groundwork that he's doing. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick. Okay. When they found him, he was shocked. He thought he was
drunk or something. They trying to wake him up. The guy was cutting grass. And he saw he won't move him, so.
But he won't hang it from a tree.
No,
he won't hang it. He was just sitting.
Sitting on the ground. His body was sitting on the ground. He was leaning against the tree and his butt touching the ground.
Laid up beside these two little trees right here. Now, if you see these trees, you know, there's no possible way that somebody can hang themselves from these trees. Now, the guy told me that the body was sitting propped up with his butt on the ground and a rope tied around his neck.
My first time coming here, back here.
Okay.
But I do park up there right beside the flatbed right there when I come in on the weekend. I'm gonna be honest, man, I really don't know, but I can confirm one thing.
What's that?
Henderson is not a sundown town.
Okay. Have you?
I feel like it's racism. I feel like what they're saying right now is it's not even believable. Like,
Yeah. So let me just scrub through here because I want to get that sister in particular, but this is the brother right here. Let me see. Get him right here.
Found in the location that you just saw with a rope around his neck. And many people first thought that, you know, he was dangling from the tree, which is not true, which you're about to hear the sheriff say that as well. He was not hung. It was not ruled as a suicide.
So that's the brother right there. Let me just scrub up to where there's a part of this. Oh, it's right here. So he's seen, let me see. He's seen this sister putting flowers at the base of a tree. And so he interviewed her. Just listen to what she say.
So balloons right here, what has been set up as a little memorial for Javion McGee. And you actually reached out to the father.
I did.
Okay. And you said that the police said they're still not letting them see the body.
So my knowledge, they're not letting them see the body.
Okay. And
That's what was said.
And they said that they was gonna send a text message of the body or something like that. A picture of the body. All right, and so what made you come out here today?
I came out here to show support because I feel like, you know, it's questions that need to be answered because it's a lot of stuff is not adding up. I feel like, you know, it's a lot of things that's going on that people are not saying, and I don't feel like Javion would even do anything like this. He looked like a bright young man, so I don't think he would do anything like this.
Oh, okay. And you said you have two boys of your own?
I do.
Okay. So how old are they?
My boys are 12 and 14.
Okay. Now, how is it? Like I know you say you're not from here, but how is it the town of Henderson? How is it to live in?
The town of Henderson is very wishy-washy. They help who they want to help.
Okay.
I mean, all I can do is be honest. They help who they want to help.
Okay. Now, what about, I guess, racism? Because a lot of people think, you know, when you find a black man with a rope tied around his neck, it's automatically racism involved. I do too. So have you?
I feel like it's racism. I feel like what they're saying right now is not even believable. Like I don't think this. I think racism is still out here because I've had my mishappenings with Henderson. I done been called all kinds of N-words. I done even went to a white church that they told me that they don't help my kind. So I still think it's racism.
Wow. When was this?
This was recently. I reached out for help because me and my kids was going through something, and they told me they don't help our kind.
Wow, our kind. This is last year, this year, the year before you. Whoa. Okay. So, but a lot of people say that Henderson is 75% black. So that's a lot of people saying, well, you know, it can't be bad because it's 75% black. What do you feel about that?
That doesn't mean anything. That does not mean anything. Just because it's 75% black, that does not mean anything. It's still, we still have our people out here that's still doing stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they still don't like us just because of our skin. That's just it.
Okay. And actually, have you been back there behind the fence?
We have not.
Okay. Well, that's where they said that he was found. I spoke to a gentleman who works there. So he was found like on the side of that fence between two trees. And actually, they said he bought some blue rope. And you can see like a few strands of blue rope on the ground leading to where he was at. So it's definitely suspicious. They said he parked his truck right there, dropped his truck, went to Walmart, went to smoke shop, and went to a hotel and came back here. And then that's when everything happened. So
they said that's the thing. They say he went to Walmart. If he had any kind of suicide thoughts, it's bridges. It's a lot of other trees right there that he can hang himself right there. It's not adding up. Why would he come all the way back here in the woods to hang himself?
yeah, and a lot
That
of
means someone took him off road and did what they had to do.
And
He
put
could
him
have
there,
been
yeah.
did what he had. If he was suicidal, he would have did what he had to do. It's bridges. It's too much opening.
Yeah, and that's what I feel too. Like somebody did what they had to do, then placed him there and put the rope around his neck because the rope wasn't tied to a tree.
It's not adding up.
Yeah,
They got answers, and it's like they hired something.
Yeah,
I'm sticking to my word.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
I appreciate your support and your support for the family of Javion McGee. Peace and love.
And so there you hear the young lady speaking about her experiences.
So yeah, you seen what I seen. We both listened to it. The sister out there, he's speaking to a lot of people. It's not just his sister. He's got a lot of calls even from white people that's saying that there's the white hoods is out there thick. And this sister is like, I just don't believe that. It just don't make no sense at all. Doesn't make any sense that he got a hotel room and came back to where the truck was. If he really was on that type of time, he could have did that any other place before he even got back there. She said there's bridges. It's just so much open area, woods and all of that. And she's been treated. She said this. She said she tried to get help from the church. And the church said, we don't help your kind. Now, the narrative on like regular media is that, these things don't happen. And they would love for it to be a story that said that Javion McGee took his own life rather than everybody realizing that evil bigotry and prejudice and racism still exists. They would rather it be like, yeah, he took his own life. Meanwhile, statistically, when it comes to taking your own life, Black men are less likely to hang themselves. You didn't have to tell me that. I already knew that. I was like, why out of all ways that a person would, if they're feeling that type of way, why would they do it like that? How our ancestors was done? Like, why? Why would you do it in a way where you're suffering? Why wouldn't you just do it to where it's quick? I mean, I'm just being logical. I don't mean to offend anybody with what I'm saying, but I mean, let's use some common sense here, y'all. There's a lot of things that play in this story, in this whole episode, this whole story that don't make sense. Don't make sense at all. And I'm afraid that this story with Javion McGee is just another episode of Strange Fruit. I'm just keeping it 100. And so shout out to the brother at Taylor House Publishing. Like I said, I'm going to reach out to him. I'm sure he can explain the facts because he's been following this since the beginning. And I'm sure he can explain the facts way better than I could. Okay, so shout out to him. Taylor House Publishing, you can go check out his channel, go subscribe to his channel. The brother, as far as I've seen, he seems solid to me. You know what I mean? So shout out to that brother. Now, I'm gonna get on something it's lighter, okay? Still dealing with Black people, but it's lighter. Let me stop this screen. Remove that. Remove that. Get this video.
On dates? No, I don't eat on dates. Explain. What do you mean? Well, a man shouldn't be eating on dates majority of the time. The only time you should be eating on a date is towards the end of the night. Most men don't know how to date. You know that, right?
Let's get into it.
There's a science to dating. So if I meet a woman, my goal is to create an experience for her, because what most guys don't understand is you're not going to get a second, third, fourth, fifth date. How do I know? I've spoken to so many women who went out on a date with a guy, but he did something, or she may start talking to this dude, or something happens between the time they had that date and the potential for the next date, which ruins it. So what a guy has to do is he has to take the first date and turn it into 3 to 4 dates in one. It's called compressing time frames.
You talking about like a whole day event type shit?
Exactly.
Man, you know what? I don't know, y'all. I mean, maybe I got the microphone. Maybe I should just maybe I should get a fade, and maybe I should get a suit, and maybe I should start talking about relationships, because Negroes is talking about anything and saying anything when it comes to relationships. Like he said, compressing time frames. He wants to turn a date into an experience. I mean, is it really that complicated? Like, for real, is it really that complicated to meet somebody? And he said, I don't eat on dates. So what you just do? You fast on dates? I don't eat on dates. I chop the date up into a whole day, into an experience. It's a science to dating. No, it's not. It's not no science. Let me see what y'all saying. Oh, he just made this. Yeah, you just like, come on. Like, it said, I talked to many women, and something happens in between the time where they don't go on another date. Well, maybe they went on a date to get to know each other, and maybe there's some things about the person they wasn't feeling. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's not the fact that he didn't make a whole experience, and he compressed time frames, and he didn't eat. I don't eat on dates. That's wild to me. Like, I'm not saying you don't, like, if you meet a person, you're going on a date, I'm not saying you got to go to somewhere where you're going to eat a meal. I'm just saying, like, the idea of actually going to a restaurant but not eating and sitting there watching a woman eat and just like trying to give this experience or give this this idea, this image of yourself as though you're a different type of dude. Why not just be yourself? Why not just be who you are? I think if you be who you are, you got a better chance of impressing a person. Like, if you're going on a date, I'll use me as an example. I'm not thinking about, I gotta create an experience for this woman. I gotta show her an image. I got to, create this whole thing where we have an itinerary where we do this for breakfast. We do this for lunch. We do this in the middle of the day. We do this, in the afternoon, and then we do this at night. No, I would just be myself. Just be who I am. Either you're gonna like me or you're not. It ain't no science to it. It's just natural. It's just life. But yeah, man, what y'all think about that? It's like I'm saying, like, between this and the video that I posted earlier, with the video that I played in the intro, I mean, everybody don't deserve to be okay. Everybody, you can't listen to everybody online, because some people are just talking. They're just talking. They're saying stuff that makes absolutely no sense and trying to sound cool and look cool. Yeah, but I'm off of it. That's funny. Compressing time frames. That sounds like something you do when you edit in a video. Compressing time frames. But all right. Let me stop. Now we're gonna get to some more meat, some more serious stuff. Okay. Drop this video off of the feed. Remove that. Let's switch up.
As a unit, move like that. I was listening to a African brother, and he was saying, you know, that the differences between African Americans and Africans that sometimes, sometimes he was saying that because we were brought here and robbed of our true identity, that we didn't know, and that's not all the way true too. Many of the brothers, I was reading about a slave that was brought here, an enslaved man that was brought here that was a Muslim. You know, so when it argues who brought Islam, was it Noble Drew Ali, was it Master Fard Muhammad, was it, this brother was 200 years before any of them. He never stopped practicing Islam, right? But what I realized is,
what he's saying is he was talking to an African. This is Killer Mike saying he was talking to an African. He was saying, like, because we lost our identity coming over here. We're talking about identity right now, the difference between African Americans and Africans. And he brought up the it's a Muslim guy that came over here. He came over. He was actually a prince in West Africa, but he was brought over here in the transatlantic slave trade. What they noticed, I believe he was in Virginia. I can't remember his name right now, but what the overseers and the slave master had noticed about him is that he fluently spoke Arabic and wrote Aramaic. He could write in Aramaic, and he finally got in touch with somebody that could what is it? What's the word? Translate what he was saying. So that got him out of slavery. I think it got him to Britain, I believe, and then he went back to his motherland. I believe when he went back, people still remembered him, and he was reinstalled as the king or the prince. But there are other people. There are other Black people that remember who they were when they were brought here as slaves, and they never forgot that either. So the whole idea of, you know, sometimes y'all hear me talk about us being God's chosen people, us being the Israelites. The whole idea of that and where that comes from is from slaves, from people who remembered who they were in West Africa, what their practices were in West Africa. So, but I don't want to get off of it. Let's get back to what Killer Mike is saying. So I'll give some more commentary.
maybe we got here because we leaned too much into tribalism. Maybe we got here because we start seeing ourselves as I'm Igbo, I'm Yoruba.
That's a good point.
And we have to understand that.
In fact, we did get here because of tribalism. We got here not just because of tribalism, but because we were different than the people who rounded us up, who went to war with us, and then later on sold us to Europeans. We were different ethnically. We were different in our religious practices. And therefore, we were enemies to the people who kidnapped us a lot of times, or just went and raided our villages in West Africa. This is well documented that the Africans that were selling the people to the Europeans, other so-called Africans, were not the same people. It wouldn't even make sense if they were. Okay.
That ultimately being robbed of our history was a wrong. But if I had to find any blessed in it, I don't differentiate between the original man and woman. Because one thing I do know, before I named myself as a part of a tribe, before I gave my God a different name or decided to worship an Orisha, what I do know is that God put us here first. The first human being. The matriarchal DNA, I'm getting the word, I'm saying it wrong. DNA is of a black woman in Eastern Africa. So my thing is, if I already know, I told people all the time, y'all be arguing about who they are online. I said, Elijah Muhammad already solved that problem for me. You're the original man and woman. Right. That's it. Whatever God put here first, that's you. And that's how I move. So no matter what you.
So you see how he's summing it up as Elijah Muhammad said that we're the original man and woman. And that's how he sums it up, that all black people, or all people who are melanated, are the original. They are the first. I look at it like this. Well, more specifically, all people on the planet Earth at one point in time were black people, were melanated people, dark-skinned races. They still wasn't the same though. You know, so we can't just use a cover phrase to say we're all the same. The same way, like that's why I don't like the word African, because it's a blanket term. We can't just use a blanket term or a blanket phrase to explain who we are, because that no one else in the world thinks like that but Black people in America. You know, we're Pan-African. We're the people that looking back and saying we need to go back to the motherland. We need to connect with our cousins, with our brothers. But that's not how the whole world looks at it. You know what I'm saying? So do you have groups in East Africa? You have groups in South Africa. You have groups in the middle of Africa that they know that they are a select group of people and they're not the same as other Africans on that same continent. So I feel that if we're going to look at it as a blanket, we're going to use a blanket phrase like I'm the original man, which in my mind is a prison term that brothers go to prison and they come out really super extra, you know, conscious, you know, that's still missing the mark. That's no difference than saying that we're all African, because it still doesn't say what is your nationality, what is your true identity. Let me finish this off.
You call yourself planet Earth. Well, no matter what you call yourself, I recognize that God put you here first, and we are of the same bloodline.
And that's not true. You know, so that is it's just not true. I just explained it. Like, we are not of the same bloodline as everyone else. You have videos where Eritreans and Ethiopians are saying they are not the same as a Nigerian, which is true. You can look on the walls of ancient Egypt and they had enemies, and all of their enemies are you know, different Black races. Like, so when we try to unify under being a dark-skinned people, there's never been no unity in the history of the world. These people had their identities. And because we came over here and were not allowed to do certain things, a lot of it's been stripped from us. So we are a people that just say, you know what? F it. I'm the original man. F it. I'm an African man. F it. Everybody Black is the same. And we don't do no further research or try to we don't try to dig deeper, because the answers are out there. And when brothers tell you what the answers is, you don't want to hear that. You're like, nah, I can't be God's chosen people. That's something else. But I can be the original man. I can be a Moor. I can follow it. I can be a Muslim. But no, I don't think that we're God's chosen people. I don't think we're the real Jews. I don't think that. You know? And let me go back to what you was let me rewind it real quick. But what you were saying about this brother sounds like he's trying to get as many women to like him instead of just being yourself and learning about each other and go from there. Of course, that's what he's doing. He's creating an experience for a woman. He got a whole persona. He got the suit with the cigar. He's creating, you know, a luxury experience for the women. And of course, if you have so much, like, you got to think about it, man or woman, if you done created a whole plan on how you date, then that means you're going through a lot of people, because you must have found something that works for you, you know? Let me remove this. This is the last story, y'all. Now, this is Jesse Lee Peterson. This is Rizza Islam. A lot of y'all know who Rizza Islam is. Very, very smart, articulate brother from the Nation of Islam. Or is it the Fruit of Islam? I don't know. I don't know specifically. But very, very articulate brother. Sharp. Very knowledgeable. He's on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Jesse Lee Peterson, let me just get it, pull it up real quick. Jesse Lee Peterson.
love the Jews?
Absolutely.
You love the Jews?
Yeah, true Jews, for sure.
I'm sorry?
True Jews, yes.
So Jesse Lee Peterson, I'm gonna start it over. Jesse Lee Peterson, he sounds like an older man that done drunk about 2 6-packs of Budweiser, and he's super Christian. And when I say super Christian, I mean in the way of white Jesus, super Christian. And he tried to get people in a trick bag and ask a lot of, same questions. And if you go look at his channel, sometimes he get the guests real irritated. But yeah, that's Jesse Lee Peterson. So let me play this.
And do the Muslim love the Jews?
Absolutely.
You love the Jews?
Yeah, true Jews, for sure.
I'm sorry?
True Jews, yes.
So you love the Jews?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Farrakhan didn't like the Jews. He was like blood-sucking Jews, and he was blaming them for everything. Is that true or not?
Oh, no. No, that's a separation between who are the true Jews and those who say they are Jews and are not. Same thing Jesus said in the book of Revelations 2:9 and Revelations 3:9, where he said, I know thy works. And when he's talked about specifically, he said those who say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. So there's a separation. It's like saying a Christian and a Muslim. Christians who do good things, those are Christians. But people go out killing, murdering, and raping, and they say it's in the name of Christ. That's not a Christian. Same thing with Muslims. They can't claim to be a Muslim or a part of Islam. A Jew who does things that are evil, wicked, and goes against the principles of Judaism, can't call them Jews either. So it's a way of separating people who don't properly represent the belief system.
So what Rizza Islam just did was exactly the same thing that Candace Owens did when she was talking to Rabbi Shmuley. Y'all remember when I went over that and she brought out Revelations 3 and 9. And I brought out Revelation 3 and 9, 2 and 9, what is actually talking about. And he did exactly what she did. And what I mean by that is he's saying that these verses are simply separating good people that profess to be Jews from bad people that profess to be Jews. So it's really pointing to an individual, which it is not doing that. But Rizza Islam doesn't study the Bible. He's Muslim. So, to his credit, you understand? It's not saying that at all. It is talking about a nation of people. It's not talking about an individual. So he did the exact same thing and he used it in the same way. And then if you use it this way, it's a way to not offend the people who call themselves Jews today by just saying it simply means there's good Jews and there's bad Jews. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that the nation, the people that scream from the top of the roofs that they are God's chosen people and they worship in synagogues, well, they really are not them. That's what it's saying. So let me keep going.
Let me just, and I don't want to get into the Jew thing because I can go all day. The Jew thing I'm confused by.
Oh, okay, understood.
We have so many different kind of Jews now. I don't know who the real Jew is.
Understood.
But let me ask, are the white Jews in Israel the real Jews?
Not according to bloodline.
And meaning what, in short? Meaning what?
In short, basically those who would be converted or converted to Judaism. So specifically those who are there now are the ones who came from Europe. You're talking about Poland, you're talking about different parts of Germany, those who came over in the 1940s who were brought over, they were given access to go to different parts of Africa. They were invited, but they went into that area or that nation known as Israel or specifically Palestine. So these are white people from Europe, Poland, Germany, and other places who went into that part of the land known as Palestine.
Now, what Rizza Islam just said right now is 100%, 144% correct. The people are the white Jews that are in Israel today. They came over there in the 40s and the 50s. Their forefathers over 1,000 years ago converted to follow the faith of the Israelites. So for over 1,000 years, they've been following it. So, of course, you can just look at, about the Dawes Rolls where you are the $5 Indians where white people put their name and now they believe they're Indians. Well, you have white people today that are full on Viking from the Caucasus Mountains. They look like they're fresh from Europe, blonde hair, blue eyes, that say that they are native Indians. Why? And that's only been, a few decades. That's only been decades. Now think about 1,000 years of you living a certain kind of lifestyle. You would, over all of these centuries, you would start to believe that you are them. You are those people. So what he said is true. Now they converted over 1,000 years ago, and today they believe that they are the Israelites, but they don't call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Israelis. They don't call themselves Hebrew Israelites for a reason, and that's a historical reason, and that's a fact. So I'm gonna keep going.
That's in short.
And so these blacks that are calling themselves black Jews,
Hebrew Israelites,
Israelites, and all that, are they?
You see how Jesse threw that in there? Now these blacks that's calling each other black Jews. There's no such thing as a black Jew. The Jews were black. The Hebrew Israelites, the Semitic people, biblically and ethnically, they were black people. They were Negroes. The same people that you see in ghettos today, the same people that you see on a television screen, running the football and dunking the basketball, those were those people.
Or are they real Jews too?
Oh, I believe according to what they're reading in the Bible, based off of what they know to be true, according to the words of God in the Bible, that they will qualify to be the chosen people, true Jews, Hebrew Israelites, etc. Which again, it's a lot, like you said, there's a lot that goes into this. So you'll hear Hebrew, you hear Hebrew Israelite, you'll hear Jew, you'll hear Jewish, you'll hear all of that. But when it comes to those who are white Caucasian from Europe, who call themselves Jews in that area known as Israel specifically, are not biblically specific when it comes to who are the true Hebrew Israelites, because now you're talking about bloodline, and bloodline goes into who are the original people from God. That is talking about Hebrew Israelites. That's a bloodline circumstance. People, when it comes to Judaism or in Israel, that's a cultural circumstance, and now you're getting into what is known as Zionism. Now you're getting into Theodore Herzl. Now you're getting into the Balfour Declaration. I know it's a lot. It's a lot, but so no. In short, no.
So basically, the way that Rizza Islam said everything, he said it, in an eloquent way where nobody could actually, if they want to, because, if you say anything, they'll say you're an anti-Semite, even if it's true. Like the things I've just said to you about the history, it's 144% truth, pure truth. But it's things like that where you say things and they're the truth. And they say, well, you're an anti-Semite. Well, the Semites were Hebrews, they were Egyptians. The Semitic people, it was a lot of different Semitic people. So it wasn't just one type. And historically, we know that the Europeans were never there in that area of what you would call Northeast Africa or the Fertile Crescent. They were never there. They come out of Eastern Europe. That's where they come from. So I'm gonna drop that, and we're gonna wrap it up. That's the lie. Do I got another story? I don't know. Maybe I got another story. Drop that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So I hope everybody that's been rocking with me, I hope you got something out of it today. I'll be back. Let's see. I'll be back next Sunday. Let's see what's coming up. So I'm gonna reach out to Taylor House Publishing and try to get an interview with him, or just go live with him. Just pick his brain and see some of the things that he knows, some of the facts that he's discovered, because he's been doing like real groundwork. And hopefully we can get that together. Tuesday, I'm slotted for an interview with Commandant General Yohana of the ISUPK. Recently, I did the interview with a legendary photographer and historian, Chester Higgins. So I'll be posting that interview in its entirety. Okay, and I'm just trying to do different things, y'all. I'm trying to mix it up, bring some different content, not the same old content. Get some people. Also reach out to a local boxer, a brother that's doing a lot of good things in the community, giving back. Darius D. Active, right? He undefeated boxer. He's local right here, Southern California, Rialto, California. Try to get him on the platform, and I just got a lineup, y'all. I'm trying to go in. I'm trying to really move this thing. Make sure if y'all been watching this video, make sure you share this video, like the video, just to boost the algorithm. I appreciate Bulls Fan 25 to say, she said, I'm here just to boost the algorithm. That's the type of support we need as Black people. We need that type of support. Listen, bro, I'm going to just show up. I'm going to just show up to the live. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really doing nothing, but I just trying to boost the algorithm, you know what I'm saying, and support you. So, yeah, make sure you do that. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, I was in class this past week. It was a general's class. I was in this class, and he was saying, General Muhammad, he was talking about, he brought out the fact that, you know how Donald Trump was saying that in Springfield, you got to watch your pets because, you know, those immigrants, those Haitians, they, you know, your cats and your dogs, they eating them. Well, he brought out the fact of the roof rabbit, where Europeans, because of the war, the impending war, I believe it was World War I or World War II, Europeans, they called it the pet Holocaust, where they were unaliving, they were going to unalive people's pets because if the war came, food would be scarce. Well, you look up the roof rabbit was basically a cat that if you cut the cat's head off, I don't even know if I can say that on live, but if you decapitate the cat and the tail, it will look like a rabbit. It will look like, and people were eating cat as though it was rabbit meat, which was interesting. You know, it's funny when you accuse people of doing something that they're not doing, how people start researching and bring out something about you that is shocking, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. That video, I don't know if we really talked about the video that I played that much with those sisters. Maybe I'll repost it. I'll repost that video, maybe give some commentary, or maybe I won't, just to show the contrast, because I'm going to do another one with Black men to show what Black men were talking about 40, 50 years ago and what Black men are talking about on these podcasts today. So you can see how the bar has lowered in the consciousness of our people. The things that we're talking about, the things that we are thinking about, the things that are most important to us don't even make sense, are not going to help us at all. You know what I mean? Which is what we need. We need to be having conversations that are going to enlighten, inspire, and make people better, not keep us in dysfunction, not keep us going in circles of dysfunction and hating one another, you know what I mean, and doing all of that. So I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good, what time is it right now? It's 5. So it's about to be 9 o'clock on the East Coast, about to be 8 o'clock Midwest. Y'all have a good evening. All right. Enjoy your Sunday. Y'all stay safe. Also, what I forgot to say, some of the topics when I talked to Commander Jenny Yohana, we were talking about who the real Jews are. We're going to also talk about impending war, World War III, you know, the things that are happening in the Middle East. So these are the things also that Black people should be paying attention to, is what's going on in the world, what's happening in the world, because it can happen overnight. Like Iran is not playing. You know, America is backing Israel. And if America gets into that war, or if Iran gets into that war and they shut down the Persian Gulf, then there's no oil that's going to be coming here. And guess what's going to happen? Life as you know it is going to change drastically. So these are the things that you really should be paying attention to, you know, as Black people. Of course, we got to look at the domestic issues too, like Javion McGee, the things that are happening right here, you know, with the there's another story. That's what I forgot. There's another story, but this is speculation because I have not seen a video. But there's a video with a sister saying that There's a few videos where people saying that strike, that port strike, was not necessarily about the money, but it was because port workers were hearing children scream inside those containers. And these workers were troubled and upset over that. I don't know how much truth that is. This is coming from people that are online on TikTok and stuff. But what I will say is there is stories of them finding containers with people in them, right? And also what I would like to bring light to, which I always do, is the countless amount of missing children that are on the feed, that are on social media, that are post saying, have you seen them? My daughter is missing, my son is missing. That's very important too. That's something we got to pay attention to also. Like, we really got to pay attention to that. And if we were unified, if we was unified as a people, stuff like that could not happen. What happened with Javion McGee, we would have got swift justice already if we were a unified group of people. If we were unified, people can't just snatch our children. We have an infrastructure, but we are not unified. We feel that though we don't got to listen to nobody. We can't take constructive criticism. We feel we're liberated. We feel that we care more about ourselves than we care about our kids, our teenage kids or whatnot. And that's how all of these things, that's how we are like a prey to the rest of the world. That's how things can happen to us and nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? But we got to care. So I'm up out of here, y'all. Let me see. Let me give a shout out to y'all, brothers and sisters that was rocking with me tonight. Shout out to you, Renee Gaines. Shout out to you, Sister Baratha Nawa. Shout out to Kyle Miles Boff. Shout out to you, says Bulls Fan 25. Always rocking with me. Shout out to you, says Navov Clothes. Shout out to you. And I think I got everybody. I know that ain't everybody that's watching, but shout out to everybody that's rocking with me, that's been rocking with me, that's been keeping it black and authentic. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'm up out of here, y'all. Peace. I'm gonna play a little something.